How's it going, everybody? This is Xavier here, and today we have our video for finding Xavier. This is the unlock method we've been waiting for to know how we're going to be getting Professor Xavier in this game, and it's very interesting. It's not your typical Dark Dimension. It's not like your APOC saga. They definitely kind of combined a lot of aspects of the game for this release method, which is very refreshing in my opinion. So for the Professor Xavier saga, the epic conclusion of the Age of X saga is nearly here. And with it comes your chance to recruit the leader of the X-Men, Professor Xavier. Today we're breaking down everything you need to know about Professor Xavier's saga and how to battle your way to victory. It won't be an easy road, but a powerful new ally awaits those who rise to the challenge. So as you see here, 4 bosses stand in your way. So what they're doing is they're kind of combining like a Dark Dimension with a saga with the Battle World boss features for us to be able to get this new mythic character. And I think it's very interesting if they do this right. I know the Null fight kind of fell flat a little bit, but I think they can take what they've learned from that, add it to these boss fights, and really make these unique and kind of epic battles. So that way when you get that unlock, it's going to feel very refreshing and exciting for us. So for the 4 bosses, there's going to be Nimrod, which really makes sense. If you know anything about Nimrod, he's basically a mutant destroyer. So having it to where he's one of the boss fights that we have to go at, it really does make sense for this. Gladiator, he has that tie into Lilandra and kind of resents, in a sense, Professor Xavier himself. Shadow King, how Professor Xavier and Shadow King, they have a rich history together to where Xavier tried to recruit Shadow King as a child and then kind of saw the evil in him, and basically they have this rivalry ever since. Then there's going to be the Dark Xavier, basically Xavier beat him, get him type of thing. So as you see here, for the Battle World boss portion or the boss fights that they're kind of drawing into, we're going to have that health bar, we're going to have the turn meter, you're going to be able to see the abilities here, but they're going to add a twist to it. So each chapter of the saga features a series of missions that culminates with a showdown against a different powerful boss enemy, just like Battle World. You'll see a display of the boss health and ability energy progress along the top of the screen for easy viewing. So there is a warning, these bosses are not like the characters you possess on your roster. Though they may look familiar, the bosses of the saga have a few surprises up their sleeves that'll slant the battlefield in their direction. You'll need a minimum of Gear Tier 17 to access the first mission. So even though it says Gear Tier 17, it really does scale up. So don't think just because it says Gear Tier 17, you can kind of do a few missions. That's not going to work. You're going to see a rundown of the full requirements. Each boss and the mission features 3 difficulties: hard, heroic, and extreme. I actually think this is very cool because whenever we have these type of things, like the Dark Dimension, the APOC saga, every time you complete the node, you get those first time rewards. This leaves open for so many rewards that we're going to get for going through this. So each difficulty comes with multiple missions. You need to earn 3 stars on every mission across all 4 bosses to unlock Professor Xavier. So to prepare for your roster, Professor Xavier's saga is a massive multi-phase event featuring over 50 missions that'll put your roster to the test. Mission nodes will have specific trait restrictions, so you need to strategize your squad composition. Each node also has a minimum of gear tier requirements, with early missions starting at gear tier 17 and 18. Like I said, don't expect to have 17 and 18 and do several missions. You'll do like 1 each. You're going to have the freedom to choose your teams within these restrictions, so theorycraft your way to victory with your preferred characters. I'm going to end up doing a video later on this week, basically talking about like a tier list of what traits I'm actually looking at. It's going to be anything post Ares. So anything that's before Ares, I really don't want to bring those along because of those new stats. They just so outweigh the older characters. The only ones I'm really looking at that's going to be a pre-Ares would maybe be like a Black Knight, depending on the node, and if I'm still going to be using them a lot, maybe some Illuminati characters like Captain Britain, but otherwise I'm looking mainly at the future, anything Ares on. So early missions are going to award valuable resources to help power up your roster for the later, more difficult battles. So here's a list. So as you see, there's going to be Nimrod, there's the 3 difficulties, missions 4, 5, 5. It does it all the way down to the Dark Xavier. That's 5, 5, 6. And as you see, gear tier 17, 18, 19 for Nimrod. You could bring any trait. So any characters that you have at G19, we can get through the Nimrod section fairly easy. Now it's going to become more difficult. We have the Gladiator section. So we have gear tier 19, 20, 20, and those are going to be just city characters. So city hero, city villain, any mix of city on here. I think that's very friendly because we know there's not a lot of good city villains currently out in the game. The ones I'm going to be looking at are going to be maybe Blade and Oath, and I want to see what the next team's going to be. I know there's rumors out for that Vigilante team that reeks of having city characters on it, so I want to see if I could use any of those. Otherwise, city's going to be kind of rough in my opinion. For Shadow King, 19, 20, 20, this is going to start with Global, then Villain Global, Hero Global. Villain Global actually isn't too terrible because we're going to have like Apocalypse that we could end up bringing along with us. The Hero Global, I think that's going to be a little bit dicier. I don't love the Hero Globals that we have. It's mainly like the Mighty Avengers, Immortal X-Men, Uncanny Avengers, those type of things. That's going to be the hero. I want to do that tier list to see who I'm actually going to be looking at on here, and that's going to be kind of my investments of what I want to do for this. For the Dark Xavier, it's 19, 20, 20 again. Cosmic, Villain Cosmic, which for Villain Cosmic, we would have characters like Mephisto that we can bring on, the Annihilators, Hero Cosmic, Kahori, Odin. There's a lot of good Hero Cosmic that we can end up bringing. I think the City and maybe the Hero Global is going to be the rougher one. For Villain Global, we have like the Orcus teams comes to mind, the Cabal team, if you want to do that. But again, Cabal is going to be pretty airy. So stay tuned for that video. We're going to have a nice discussion about who we want to really focus on for these. So Gear Tier 20 and Professor Xavier's unlock. Professor Xavier arrives as a full 7-star unlock. So that means you run through this once, you get him at that 7 stars. I don't know if this is going to be like a second run. I think APOC was just that one run. You get the stars, you get the red stars, and that's it. So it looks like it's a one and done type of deal for this. To complete the saga and recruit him, you need characters equipped with the upcoming Gear 20, which arrives on March 17th. There's the confirmation date for when this is coming to the game. Upgrade characters to Gear 20 will use Gear 20 mini uniques, which you can earn through upcoming events. Spend X coins in the limited time X coin shop on Gear 20 mini uniques. I'm definitely going to be doing that. Earn X coins through the events as well. So it doesn't have anything on here saying that this is going to go to the gold store. Usually anytime there's a new gear tier, they throw it in the gold store. That's one slot and it's very expensive to get those pieces. There's no mention of that. So it looks like they're going to be focusing more on the events portion and getting these X coins. I could see X coins being on these nodes and then maybe like an event as well in order to get those red stars like what they did with Odin. So I'm curious if they are going to have it set to where there's that time limit, say about 30, 45 days, do this event, get these, get the gear, get Odin unlocked, and then get the red stars. I'm wondering if they're going to be doing something like that for Professor X. The road to Professor Xavier is a true test of your roster strength and strategy, but for those who prove worthy, one of the most powerful minds of the Marvel Universe will be yours to command. Prepare now. So the saga begins April 14th. So that's when we're going to start seeing Odins, because you know there's going to be a lot of whales and krakens that's going to be going hard to get that Professor Xavier. So April 14th, we're probably going to start seeing Odins out there. March 17th is that Gear 7, the Gear 20th on there. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the change and the direction to go in with this? I think it's very interesting. Combining something of a dark dimension with the APOC saga, with having those epic boss battles that people's been asking for. I think they kind of learned as far as the failures that was the Null boss fight, and they can really improve on that. Having it to where there could be maybe scourges attached to it. They can have a lot of cool features for these boss fights, like for Nimrod. Have it to where every turn he gets a barrier up on there, or maybe he reduces max health on hits type of thing to really drain you down. I think they could do a lot of really interesting things on these boss battles if they do it right. And this is going to be a good test. We had the Null boss fight. We're going to have these 4 boss fights right here. This will get them some more information and ways to do that Battle World 2 boss fight for whoever that's going to end up being. But I'm curious what you guys' thoughts are on this. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'm actually optimistic. This is really excites me that they're trying something different and combining so many different game modes that we already have in here to get this unlocked. If you guys did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.